What's going on, everyone? Earlier this offseason, the Boston Celtics acquired Danilo Gallinari with the hopes of upgrading the roster, right? The Boston Celtics were just in the NBA Finals and fell short to the Golden State Warriors, but they made some nice little upgrades. They went and got Gallo. They ended up getting Brogdon, which both players really were a need that the Celtics had last season, and they were just enough upgrades to really move the needle, I think, for the Celtics. You know, not like big names, not no big blockbusters, but two guys that could really come in, be a part of the rotation, give you some really solid quality minutes, and really help elevate this team to the next level. Because a big problem the Celtics had was the lack of depth. They had a bunch of like solid role guys, but they weren't guys that you could rely on night in and night out. They might have a big game here and there, but for the most part, you're not getting them to give you 20 a night. A guy like Gallo, he could go and get you anywhere from 15 to 20 a night. We've seen him have 30-point games. He's an excellent shooter, and he's a wing player that is huge. Unfortunately, Gallo tore his MCL, his meniscus tear, when he was playing in the European qualifier. He's playing in the World Cup Qualifier for Italy and ended up tearing his knee, which is a terrible sign for the Boston Celtics and that national team, which, to them as well. I mean, they're all suffering with that injury, with the loss of Gallo, and you see all the reports and just the interviews and stuff, and it's tough. It is. It's a terrible situation for everyone in general, but for the Celtics fans and for the Boston Celtics who are paying him, to be on the team and we're excited about his acquisition. Even Gallo was excited to be a Celtics. He said in a tweet that it was a place he's always dreamed of. So even that right there tells you that, this was a match made in heaven. This was a position for everybody involved that would have been hugely beneficial. And unfortunately, this ended in an injury. Now, obviously, he could come back at some point, but he's going to miss most, if not all, of the season. So that's going to really suck. And then he's got to rehab, all that stuff. So, I mean, maybe they apply for a, player exception due to injury. That's something that's a real possibility. But this also affects the Celtics, again, with depth. Now, do they maybe go look at like a Josh Jackson or, a solid wing player that can alleviate these two? Because one of the big issues more than anything was Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown having to play so many extensive minutes. I mean, they had to play damn near 40 minutes a game for the Celtics to be competitive and to win those games. And the idea was you got Gallo who can come in and alleviate, and you don't lose that scoring production. Like, that's a great position to be in because the Celtics are incredible on the team defense. So even with Gallo's lack of defense, he at least tries. He's at least there on the court. And the defensive schemes and the way that they play the team defense would have helped make up for the lack of him being a defender, but they didn't have anybody that can make up for the scoring. So Gallo was huge for the Celtics because it gave Brown and Tatum an opportunity to not have to play, 40 minutes a night. They could maybe cut them down to, 35 or, even 30 in a best case scenario. And now they don't have that. Where do the Celtics look? Because there's not very many free agents on the free agency market. Do maybe the Celtics try to get in on a move, on a trade? The Utah Jazz, they're going to have a fire sale, right? They end up trading Donovan Mitchell to the New York Knicks. Then it's very likely that the Celtics could end up acquiring, maybe a Bogdanovich, or maybe try to go get a Malik Beasley or something along those lines. Because again, the Jazz, they're going to be total rebuilding. And so if you're the Celtics, you need to start looking for wing player options. You need to be able to get Tatum and Brown some time off and not lose that production, not lose that scoring. You don't necessarily need a guy that's going to go get you 30, but you need a guy that can at least, fill in the void, play some defense, knock down some shots, even play with these two, which Gallo could have. He could have played the 4. He could have played several positions. And so now you're in this position to where it's like, yeah, you made this huge upgrade, this huge deal. You still have Brogdon, but he's been injury prone. There's a lot of questions with him, so it's just like your two big acquisitions. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you won't even have them for a majority of the season, if not the entire season. That's a terrible position to be in. And especially for a team that just gained a ton of experience and a ton of just life lessons in the game of basketball, especially Tatum. I mean, he really failed to show up with the NBA Finals. He said he was playing with a broken wrist, whether that's real or it was an excuse or whatever. At the end of the day, the Celtics were right there. And the two main acquisitions that they got, I thought really helped this team and in a positive manner. Again, not some like groundbreaking mover needles, but you don't need that if you're the Celtics. You just need a player or two that can kind of be part of that rotation and really provide consistently. That was the problem. Consistency on the offensive end is something that they really needed, that they lacked. And so Gallo and Bogdan, they were the two guys that really were able to do that for you. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for the Celtics. It's tough for Italy. But I mean, that's the game of basketball, right? When you play, you run the risk of injuries, and it's just unfortunate, especially with Chet. He gets injured at a Pro-Am game, and now you got Gallo getting injured in a qualifier. It's just like, it's tough, And if you're these teams, it's like, I mean, you can't stop them from playing these games, but it sucks. It's a tough position to be in if you're the Boston Celtics. But I'm sure they'll get some player exception. I'm sure that they'll figure it out. They'll work it out. But we'll see. We'll see how it all develops. But anyway, as always, those are my thoughts and opinions, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think of this injury to Gallo? Do you think it sucks? Do you think do you think the Celtics are going to be okay? Do you think it's a loss? I mean, I don't think it's a huge loss in the sense of like, it's not like you had him last season. It's not like he's a key player before, you need him to integrate into the team, into the offense, into the system. But still, it's somebody that you had a lot of promise, a lot of hope, a lot of excitement for. And it's like now you don't get to see that. You don't even get to see what could have been, because even by the time you figure it out and he gets healthy, like if he plays this year, he's just kind of going to be out there. He's not going to be familiar with the system. He's going to be trying to rehab. Is he going to be the same player? There's just a lot of questions that go into it. So this sucks. This is an unfortunate situation for, again, everybody. Gallo, as well as, the Boston Celtics specifically. But again, however you feel about it, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.